Ruth and Naomi, the choice that changed history. Our story begins in a time of silence. The land itself seemed to be holding its breath. The rains had refused to fall on Bethlehem, the house of bread, and now there was no bread. A terrible famine gripped the land. In the midst of this crisis was a family. A man named Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their two sons, Mahlon and Chilion. With heavy hearts, they made a desperate decision. They would leave their home, their people, and journey to the foreign land of Moab in search of survival. Moab was different. The gods were strange, the customs were new. But they built a life. The boys grew into men. And in time, they married two local Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. For 10 years, they were a family. The sharp pain of homesickness dulled, replaced by the daily rhythms of life. But then, the unthinkable happened. Tragedy, like a thief, stole into their home. First, Elimelech, the family's pillar, died. Naomi was left a widow in a foreign land, leaning on her sons. But the tragedy was not finished. Soon, both Mahlon and Chilion also fell ill and died. 3 women were left alone. Naomi, and her 2 daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth. In a world where a woman's security was her husband or sons, they were now utterly vulnerable, their futures as bleak as the famine Naomi had fled. But then, a whisper of hope traveled across the mountains like a spring breeze. The news reached Moab. The Lord has visited his people in Judah. The famine is over. There is bread again in Bethlehem. Naomi said to herself, voice firm with grief, I will go back. There is nothing for me here but graves. I will return to my people, to my God. I will die in my own land. The road of broken hearts Orpah and Ruth walked with her, loyal to the end. But as the border of Moab drew near, Naomi's heart broke not just for herself, but for them. She loved these young women too much to let them throw their lives away for her. Naomi, turning to them, her voice thick with emotion, my daughters, go back. Return, each of you, to your mother's house. You have been kinder to me than my own daughters could have been. May the Lord show you the same kindness you have shown to me. May he grant you rest, each of you, in the house of a new husband. The women burst into tears, clinging to her. Orpah and Ruth weeping. No. We will go back with you to your people. Naomi shaking her head, her voice cracking, turn back, my daughters. Why would you come with me? Do I have more sons in my womb who could become your husbands? I am too old. Even if I had hope tonight, and even if I had sons, would you wait for them to grow up? No, my daughters. My life is far too bitter for you to share. The Lord's hand has turned against me. The reality of her words sinks in. There is a long, painful silence. Orpah's resolve wavers. It was not a lack of love, but a surrender to a harsh reality. Through her tears, Orpah saw the wisdom in Naomi's words. With a final, heart-wrenching kiss, she turned and began the lonely walk back to Moab, to the life she knew. But Ruth clung to Naomi gently pushing her. See, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and her gods. Go back with her. Ruth's voice quiet but unshakable. Do not urge me to leave you. Do not turn away from me. Where you go, I will go. Your path is my path, even if it leads to a land I have never seen. Where you stay, I will stay. Your home will be my home, even if it is a single small room. Your people will be my people. I am no longer a Moabite. I choose to belong to Israel. And your God will be my God. I have seen your faith in the midst of your sorrow. I want that God. She takes Naomi's hands, looking directly into her eyes. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord punish me severely if I let anything but death separate you and me. Naomi looks at Ruth. She sees no hesitation, only pure, selfless love. She stops arguing. She simply nods, and the 2 women turn together and continue their journey to Bethlehem. When they arrived, the town was stirred. Can this be Naomi? The women whispered. They remembered the vibrant woman who had left years ago. The woman who returned was a shadow, carved by grief. Naomi bitterly said, do not call me Naomi meaning pleasant, call me Mara which means bitter, for the Almighty has made my life very bitter. They were poor, hungry, and alone. But Ruth was a woman of action. Ruth said to Naomi, let me go to the fields. Let me follow behind anyone who will show me kindness. I will gather the leftover grain. Narrator. This was called gleaning. God's law commanded farmers not to harvest the corners of their fields, so the poor and foreigners could gather food. It was hard, humble work, but it was their only hope. As Providence would have it, Ruth found herself in a field belonging to a man named Boaz, a wealthy landowner, and, though she didn't know it, a close relative of Elimelech. Boaz arrives at his field. He is a strong, kind-faced man. He greets his workers. "The Lord be with you," and the workers replied, "The Lord bless you." Then, Boaz's eyes fall on Ruth, a new face among the gleaners. Boaz said to his foreman, "Who is that young woman?" And he replied, "She is the Moabite who came back with Naomi. She asked politely if she could glean. And she has worked tirelessly all morning, barely stopping to rest." The story moved Boaz. He has heard the story. He walks over to Ruth. She looks up, nervous, expecting to be chased away. Boaz voiced gentle. "Listen, my daughter. Do not go to glean in another field. Stay here with my servant women. Keep your eyes on the field they are harvesting and follow after them. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you. And when you are thirsty, go and drink from the water jars the men have filled." Ruth became overwhelmed. She bows low to the ground. "Why have I found such favor in your eyes? Why are you being so kind to a foreigner?" Boaz. "I have been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, how you left your father and mother in your homeland and came to live with a people you did not know before. May the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge, reward you fully." At mealtime, Boaz personally invites her to eat with them and gives her so much roasted grain she cannot finish it. He then secretly instructs his men to pull out extra handfuls of barley from their bundles and leave them for her to find. Ruth returns home to Naomi with an enormous amount of grain. Naomi was astonished. "Where did you glean today? Blessed be the man who took notice of you." Ruth. "The name of the man I worked with today is Boaz." Naomi's eyes widen. For the first time in years, a flicker of genuine hope appears on her face, and Naomi said, "May he be blessed by the Lord, whose kindness has not forsaken the living or the dead. That man is our close relative. He is one of our Goels, our family redeemers." A Goel was a protector, a redeemer. It was his sacred duty to buy back family land that had been sold and to carry on the family name for a relative who had died. A daring plan began to form in Naomi's wise mind. She instructed Ruth on the customs of their people. That night, at the threshing floor, Ruth approached Boaz with a humble, brave request, asking him to fulfill the role of the Goel. She was asking him for protection, for redemption. Boaz deeply moved. "This kindness you are showing now is greater than that which you showed earlier. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask. For all the people of my town know that you are a woman of noble character." A joyful wedding between Boaz and Ruth. The birth of a son named Obed, and Naomi, beaming, holding her grandson. There was a small hurdle. Another relative was a closer goal, but Boaz, being a righteous man, handled everything with honor. He married Ruth, and the Lord blessed them. Ruth, the foreigner who chose loyalty, became the great-grandmother of King David, the greatest king of Israel. The women of Bethlehem said to Naomi, "Praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a guardian redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth." And so, a story that began with famine, death, and bitterness, ended with harvest, life, and joy. It shows us that our choices of loyalty and kindness, even when made in the darkest of times, are never wasted. God was weaving Ruth's story of love into the grand tapestry of history, leading all the way to the birth of Jesus, the ultimate Redeemer for the whole world.